Okay. And so, all right. So, and with that, I'm going to introduce Keyon, Dr. Keyon Anderson. He wrote this book today.
All right, good evening, everybody. So, my name is Dr. Keyon Anderson. I am a published author, best-selling published author through Amazon for these books. They said we don't. I ended up going into writing because I had an interesting journey early in learning how to read. I have a disability called dyslexia, so that means that I invert letters and words. And all of my life, I've made up my very own great stories. So that created a pathway for me to become a writer. As of today, I've published 7 books, but this is by far one of my favorites. So I wrote They Say We Don't because there's a lot of messaging that we receive when we're growing up about what we can and we can't do. So I thought it was really important to create a book so that you could know that you could actually do anything that you could see. So I'm going to start reading the book now. Johnny laid in bed at night, thinking of all of the possibilities life could offer him. While Nate, on the other hand, thinks about the book of things people like him don't do. So that's them laying in their bed. You can see Nate over there in his red shirt, and that's the They Say We Don't book of all the things people like him don't do. Johnny, I want to explore the Rio Secreto caves and Playa del Carmen. 8. People like us don't explore caves. Yanni, why? Why don't people like us explore caves? Nate, because they say we don't. Yanni, Nate, I can see it. They're having the conversation as they're sitting on their bunk beds. And Yanni goes on and he's like, I can see it. I can see myself exploring the cave. They have these secret caves in Playa del Carmen that you could actually go into that have no light, and you use the little light on your helmet, and that's actually how you're able to see.
Nice.
Johnny, I want to feed baby tigers, play with lemurs, wash an elephant, and even ride its back. Nate, people like us don't do any of those things. But why not? Nate, because they say we don't. Yanni, but I can see it. So he's in his bed and he's playing with his teddy bear. So he has a little tiger. He has an elephant there. There's a map behind their bed. So he's imagining himself traveling the world and doing all of these things. Yanni goes on to say, but I can see it. So he actually sees himself playing with the tiger, riding the elephant's back, and there's a lemur in the tree just above his head. So he can see himself doing it. Johnny, I want to explore the ocean by scuba diving around Catalina Island so that I can see the Garibaldi fish swimming in coral reefs. I want a dolphin to push me across the lagoon in the Bahamas. Nate, people like us don't explore the ocean, and we for sure aren't being pushed across the lagoon in the Bahamas. Yanni, but why? Nate, because they say we don't. Yanni, but I can see it. So you see him in his room and he has on his swim clothes and he has his stuff on so he can go swimming with the dolphins and he's ready. And Nate's looking at him like, you're absolutely out of your mind. Yanni responds again, but I can see it. So you can see him at the bottom swimming with the Garibaldi fish. You can see the dolphin pushing him across the lagoon. So he really was able to envision all of these things. Yanni, I want to zip line across the forest in Mexico and Puerto Rico. Nate, people like us don't zip line in forests, no matter where they are. Yanni, but why not? I also want to zip line over alligators in Orlando, Florida. Nate, They said we don't do that either, Johnny. But I can see myself ziplining in all of these places. So he's sort of explaining it to him. They're going through, they're still sitting in their room. And then again, Yanni's like, but I can see it. He actually envisions himself ziplining over alligators in Florida. So awesome. Yanni, I want to skydive and feel the air on my face. I want to fly a plane and see what the world looks like from up above. Nate, Yanni, do you hear yourself? People like us don't go jumping out of planes. Yanni, where are you getting this from? Nate, they told me so. Yanni, you keep talking about what they say, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to skydive. I'm going to fly a plane one day. I can see it. You see here, he's like holding his arms out like he's flying the plane. His face is even a little blush because he can feel the wind on it. And then he's looking out the window like, I absolutely see myself doing this one day. In Yanni fashion, he's like, I can see it. He's literally seeing himself jumping out of a plane and imagining what that is like. Yanni, I want to give a voice to kids who learn differently like me. I want them to know that anything is possible. Nate, who's gonna listen to you? No one listens to people like us. Yanni, but why not? Nate, because that's how it is. People like us don't use our voices to stand up for those in need. Yanni, Nate, we should stand up for those who can't stand for themselves. It's the right thing to do, and I can see myself doing it. So again, they're back in their bedroom, and he's having the conversation with Nate, and he's really trying to get him to understand that he can see himself doing all of these things. And in Yanni fashion, again, he says he can see it. He can see himself standing on the stage. He can see himself in newspapers. He can really see himself being utilized in order to give kids a voice who learn differently like he does. Johnny, I want to learn about the democratic process. First, I want to travel to Greece where democracy started. Then I want to travel to Washington, D.C., where democracy happens today. Yanni, your dreams are so big. I feel like we come from two different worlds. People like us don't travel the world and learn about democracy. Yanni, Nate, again, I have to ask you, why don't people like us? Nate, because they say we don't. They say we don't, and we don't push back. We don't ask questions. Yanni, what they say doesn't matter because I'm going to do it anyway. So you see he's pointing at a map, and on one side of the map, he's pointing at DC, and the other side of the map, he's actually pointing at Greece where democracy started. And in Yanni fashion, again, he's like, I can see it. So now he's standing on where Greece is, and he's holding a sign and he's advocating. And then the other one, he's standing where DC would be.
Thanks.
Now, at the end of the book, there's a message, and it says, because Yanni had the power to believe in himself, despite everything they said people like him didn't do, he grew up to travel the world, including Puerto Rico, Mexico, Thailand, the Bahamas, Greece. Yanni went on to become Dr. Keyon Anderson, the author of this book. If you visit my website, you can actually see me doing all of the adventures that I talk about doing in this book.
Beautiful. Very beautiful. You guys can unmute yourself now if you want.
That guy, yeah, he did everything. Do you have questions for him?
Well, I'm glad that you guys joined us for story time. I hope that you guys will come back next week and listen to the next story that we have. If you guys have any books that you would want us to read, I know you showed me some books last time, but you guys can always give me some suggestions.
Me too.
You have Do you have some books you would like us to read? And we always want to hear from you guys what you guys want to read. So with that, oh, also, how did you guys like my dad playing the guitar?
It was good.
It was good, Dad. Let me spotlight you. Will you play while we wrap this up? I just want to hear the song so they can see you play because I forgot to spotlight that.
Got to do what?
Can you just play that song again? So my dad was playing this song. And so that's my dad. That is so cool. And so yeah, if you guys have any song requests, maybe he'll play a song for you, another song for you next week. So anyway, I'm glad that you guys come out and you guys we get to read to you guys. And we'll wrap this up a little early, but we will see you guys next week. And with that, I just want to let me spotlight so you can see me. With that, I just want to say night night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you so much. We'll see you
Everybody.
next week.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Good seeing you guys.
Bye.
Bye.